Okay, as we end 2024, we have to look at the fact that, oh, for the last 4 years, Democrats and corporate media have been gaslighting us. I know, making us believe that Biden was sharp and competent. Before we bring up anything, there's been a couple of people now who are bringing up the fact that the media is not, surprisingly ignored Biden's mental state. But first, let's talk about their one last attempt for their shield wall, because we have to go back in time to an innocent time, July 8th, 2024. I'll pull up this article here from the BBC. White House fights back against doubt on Biden's fitness. What? You don't say. Well, the White House has pushed back on questions about Joe Biden's mental fitness, with the U.S. president daring doubters in the party to either challenge him or unite behind his candidacy. This was before he dropped out, but this was after his disastrous debate against Donald Trump. Mr. Biden, 81, took a highly unusual step of calling in to cable news show saying, "I am not going anywhere." In a tense news conference, the president's spokeswoman rejected suggestions that he might be suffering from undiagnosed illness. Questions about his mental acuity have intensified since his poor debate performance against Donald Trump on the 27th of June. What an innocent time. They still thought they could say that Biden was as sharp as ever. What a shame, and how pathetic. It's really a joke when you think about it. In Monday's afternoon daily press conference, White House press secretary and our favorite KJP rejected speculation that Biden was treated for Parkinson's disease, which can cause stiff movement and slurred speech. Has the president been treated for Parkinson's? She said no. Is he being treated for Parkinson? No. She was responding to a question about a report in the New York Times that an expert on Parkinson's disease had visited the White House 8 times since last year. So for 4 years, we were being lied to. But let's look at this lie and how it was revealed. Because here's just a couple of high points of Democrats gaslighting Americans.
Does the president have the stamina, physically and mentally, do you think, to continue on even after 2024?
Don, you're asking me this question. Oh my gosh, he's the president of the United States. I can't even keep up with him.
The most difficult part
They can't keep up with him because, he's running around crapping on the floor.
about a meeting with President Biden is preparing for it, because he is sharp, intensely probing, and detail-oriented and focused.
I can testify because I've been working very closely with this president for the past 2 years. I've been knowing him for 30 years. And I'm telling you, this guy's tough. He's smart. He's on his game.
Joe Biden has vision. He has knowledge. He has a strategic thinker.
Great. One senile bat defending another senile old bat. Is anyone not surprised? But for this entire year, they were saying that Biden was great. This is the best Biden ever. Best Joe Biden ever. Always on fire. Liar, liar, pants on fire. So many reports are now coming out on how the Democrats kept this a secret. But it wasn't a secret. The American people saw it. Was there just a collective denial with the establishment? This is how dumb the people in the ivory towers truly are. And, I'm going to use my favorite Logan Roy quote for his corporate media and the Democrats. All these big brain geniuses, they're influencers, anyone that was carrying water for them from as soon as Biden got inaugurated into office till right after he got kicked out. It was his disastrous debate against Donald Trump. Here is the full-on truth of it. For all those who were saying that Biden was sharp, for all those saying that Biden was competent, I love you, but you are not serious people. And I could say this looking like this, wearing my shades and my crown, because this is funny. You want to know what's not funny? A president who doesn't know his ass from a hole in the ground. A president who has good days and bad days. A president for the past 4 years who's been literally asleep at the wheel. That's not funny to me, because during these 4 years, we've seen an increase in inflation, our entire economy going to the toilet. Oh, and wait, we're knocking at the door of the sequel we all been dreading for, World War III. That's not funny. This little outfit here, that's funny. Why? Because it makes people smile. You know what doesn't make people smile? Looking at their bills increase, looking at the fact that we don't have health care, looking at the fact that student debt forgiveness is still a scythe hanging over people's heads, ready for that final swing. These are the experts. And yet, big tech, the establishment, favor them. This is branded as news.
The president is focused. He's detail oriented. He's always thinking about the big picture.
He is engaging. He is capable. He has an incredible record as president.
And I'm often with him on foreign trips. He's at the top of his game.
So he has a vision, he has knowledge, he has judgment, he has a strategic thinking.
I met with the president, I don't know, 5 or 6 weeks ago, and he seemed fine to me.
I have complete confidence in the president.
Hey, there's that nutless wonder, Bernie Sanders, I mean, there had to have been moments where Bernie had to have seen that Joe Biden wasn't all there, But yet he had to lie to his people, lie to his followers. You know how we feel about lies?
All lies will be exposed.
And they should. That's the mantra for 2024. Should be the mantra going into 2025 as well.
I have watched him expertly guide meetings of staff and cabinet members. I could not have more confidence in the president.
I would just tell you that I meet frequently with the president, and every single time I meet with him, he is just fine.
But he is.
Hey, let's have democracy in the chat. Do you think they all had an agreement? Hey, look, we're going to say this about Biden and him being competent, but then we're going to move on quickly after this question before the cameras turned on. Type 1 for no, Kit. That would never happen. There would be no pre-agreement on how a question would be given to those in positions of power and influence. Our media has integrity. Shame on you. Type 2. No, man. There was a lot more discussed, but yeah, it's 2. It's 2. Definitely 2. I wonder how many 2s will be in the chat for this final year of 2024.
Again, knowledgeable, wise.
Incredibly sharp, incredibly probing, incredible command of the details.
He is sharp. He is on top of things.
There is nothing to these challenges, these suggestions that somehow he's not sharp and he's not capable.
We see Joe Biden up close. We know how attuned he is to the issue.
And you're going to see how smart he is and the experience he has.
I say his age is an asset.
Aha! He's wise.
Yeah.
He's wise. No, he's not. This recently happened. CBS Jan Crawford, media ignored Biden's mental state for years.
One of the things we also do in the year-end correspondence roundtable is dig into what was undercovered or underreported. Jan?
Undercovered, underreported. That would be, to me, Joe Biden's obvious cognitive decline that became undeniable.
Oh, wow. Here's the thing. You guys were actually talking about that in 2019 and early 2020 when the Democratic primary was taking place. I know because me and Daniel covered it. Me and Daniel talked about it because there was always the attempt of trying to make somebody else front and center become the Democrat nominee because the Democratic establishment is a private institution that selects who they want as their nominee. These are things that all of you in my audience and across the political spectrum should know already. The DNC has admitted that. And they kept on trying to put Pete Buttigieg, Amy Klobuchar. Oh, my God. They even had the audacity. I think even Kamala had what it took. And then bet on my stork. Beto O'Rourke. They tried everybody, but all of them were failures. They were weak, and they always went right back to Biden. But yet it was always being brought up and just how senile of a goat Joe Biden was until finally Super Tuesday when Obama made a phone call. And it was one and done, and Bernie, being the cuck that he was, surrendered. But yet, then again, if you were to ever bring up the fact that Biden wasn't all there mentally, oh my goodness, you were ostracized, you were canceled, you were censored, you were shamed.
In the televised debate.
At the presidential debate with Donald Trump.
Unquestioned. And, it's starting to emerge now that his advisors kind of managed his limitations. It's been reported in the Wall Street Journal for 4 years. And yet he insisted that he could still run for president. We should have much more forcefully questioned whether he was fit for office for another 4 years, which could have led to a primary. For the Democrats, it could have changed the.
Oh, wait. No. You and everybody else, be it CBS, ABC, MSNBC, CNN, NBC, New York Times, Washington Post, none of you get to say, shame, we should have done a better job. No, that was your job. But independent media was doing your job. But oh, wait, because big tech favors corporate media, the quote unquote authoritative sources, A lot of us in independent media were censored, silenced, suppressed, demonetized, deplatformed. Our free speech denied. Oh, we should have been making front and center. Well, we did. We all talked about it. Everybody knows about it. Everybody was seeing it. You guys were living in collective denial, and these are that. Here's the thing. This is why, again, I am happy that CNN and MSNBC numbers are failing miserably. They really thought very little of the American people. They thought that the American people were so stupid that they would be okay with a senile old man as president. Throughout the entire 4 years of the Biden-Harris administration, not once did Biden show himself being a competent, well-put-together leader, because he never was one. He's been in power since 1973. He's been in politics since 1973. He has been one of the leading figures and one of the architects of this neoliberal nightmare we are in. But oh no, now they can say, oh, maybe we should have done our job better. Well, maybe you guys need to find a new profession. Corporate media is falling apart, as it should.
The scope of the entire election. Yet, still, incredibly, we read in the Washington Post that his advisors are saying that he regrets that he dropped out of the race. You know, that he thinks he could have beaten Trump. And I think that is either delusional or they're gas.
It's senile.
President Biden has said repeatedly he was sick during the debate June 27th in Atlanta.
He wasn't sick. He was just an old man out of his element. Even Donald Trump saw it. And the fact that there are moments where Donald Trump's looking at Joe Biden at the debate, looking at him and saying, like, can you believe that they actually put this old man against me? That is what we saw firsthand. That is what we saw when we finally had the evidence to show that Biden went all there. Now, the thing is, better late than never, but all this could have been avoided. But now they're also saying, wait a minute, we should have done a primary. We should have done this. There's no such thing as a fair primary. Never was one. There wasn't one in 2016. There wasn't one in 2020. And there sure as hell wasn't one in 2024. Marianne Williamson, RFK Jr., Dean Phillips, and even Fat Tony himself, Cenk Uygur, all tried it and failed miserably. I'm happy. I am happy. I'm happy to see them fall apart and fail. I am happy to see this entire media system say, oh, we should have done a better job. Well, if you couldn't do a job, here, folks, here, just so that everyone's reminded of Joe Biden.
Care, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID. With dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you.
I mean, at that point where Trump looks like, hey, is that man's brain even functioning?
President Biden, President Trump?
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death, and he's destroying Medicare because all of these people are coming in. They're putting them on Medicare. They're putting them on Social Security. They're going to destroy Social Security. This man is going to single-handedly.
Daniel, get up and go see the White House counselor. Look, man, I just sharted my pants.
Destroy Social Security. These millions and millions of people coming in, they're trying to care. Elder.
But what better way to enjoy the downfall of the media narrative than to visit our good friend Matt Orfalea? Matt Orfalea, who put together a video that I think a lot of you might have forgotten and should be reviewed again. The fiery state of the media. Senile Joe Biden is fiery and forceful and strong.
Was vigorous.
Very vigorous.
Vigorous and fierce.
The vigor in his voice was
vigorous.
The vigor.
There was no question that he was vigorous.
Yeah, there's no question. That was a vigorous fire.
And El Rock and Rollis tipped $5 Canadian. We saw him demented as F during the 2020 Bernie versus Biden debate. Bernie the cuck had to help him out. Yeah, never forget that Bernie Sanders, that nutless cuck of a wonder, did that. That's what he did.
Fiery speech from President Biden.
He was on fire. He was on fire last night. That kind of fiery way. Fiery. He's fiery, Joe. Keep being fiery.
He was fiery. Fiery.
Joe Biden, comfortable, fiery, dominant.
After a fiery State of the Union address.
fiery State of the Union. Love Matt Orfalea. Hold on. But there's more.
I'm here tonight to show what I believe is the way forward.
He was absolutely on fire.
Joe Biden was on fire.
You were on fire.
You brought that Irish fire tonight.
Fired us all up.
Biden was on fire.
At the top of his game.
on fire.
He was on fire.
Robust and clear.
Join us tonight is Latoya Beasley. Emboldening others.
We had a madman, a senile old goat run the ship.
To do what they wish. Big landlords who use antitrust law, who break antitrust laws, make sure everyone has a fair shot. RGTP is up. I believe Roe v. Wade got it right. Guarantee the right to ABF so builders can get federally financing. Federal is over $1 trillion. $1 million. Millions of families can get. They need to go to work watching auto jobs in the future to instigate the collection.
Joe Biden's fiery and energetic performance.
Fiery and energetic.
Fiery and energetic.
Energetic and fiery.
Energetic and fiery.
Fiery.
Was that energetic? This was 4 years of the media lying. Media, CNN, MSNBC. When you finally bolt your doors up, I'm going to visit your institutions every year and put a flower right next to you. And a tear will roll down my cheek, and I'll be smiling. Now, I won't be sad. I'll be smiling, knowing that your brands, your institutions will never lie to the American people ever again.
Energized.
That fiery energy.
Biden was energetic and fiery.
High energy and fiery.
He had that fire in the belly.
Right? I mean, he had that fire in the belly.
Stamina and the fire in the belly.
clearly has the stamina.
He has the stamina and the energy.
The fire in the belly to show that he has the
He had something in his belly, and it had to come right out.
energy and the
Hey.
fire in the
Speaking of stuff in his belly, here's what it is. Biden had a thought, and here's what he thought about it.
here's what I think about it. Belly to serve another term.
To pursue a career of service.
And none of us are talking about age this morning because of the fiery performance.
Look, people have had a lot of questions about President Biden, whether it's about his age or ability, but I think he put those to rest last night. I think it was fiery.
Very fiery.
It was forceful.
Fiery, forceful, and fiery. State of the Union.
Forceful.
Biden was forceful.
Joe Biden forcefully answered the pundits who say he is too old.
Anyone who watched that speech saw Biden is strong.
His voice was strong. So strong.
Very strong.
He seemed to get stronger.
Like the stronger he is, the stronger he gets.
Strong at the beginning, strong in the middle, strong at the end.
Strongest speech.
Really projecting. Strength.
With strength.
Pretty strong.
Strong and boisterous.
Very strong. Really strong.
Biden proved he has the strength and mental agility to be an effective president.
President Biden's fiery State of the Union speech.
The man Trump belittles as Sleepy Joe seemed quite fiery. So much for Sleepy Joe.
wasn't sleepy Joe Biden, but he was.
You know, I'm willing to bet that these anchors, these pundits, these quote unquote experts who pontificate and have their little multi-million-dollar show, I'm willing to bet they take something just to cover up the lies that they have to do, just to numb the pain away. Saying that Joe Biden was fiery, sharp, on point, that he wasn't sleepy. Now, have you guys noticed that all of a sudden this is one big revelation? That the media is now shocked? They all knew it. They all participated in it because corporate media wanted to ride the wave of being anti-Trump in 2020. They wanted to get rid of Donald Trump. They wanted to be part of a historic moment of being with the resistance and stopping the orange boogeyman. Well, the orange boogeyman didn't go to jail. All that legal lawfare in which he was on the defense blew up in all their faces. Now Trump's going on the offense. Trump got reelected into office. Trump derangement syndrome isn't playing like how it used to be because CNN and MSNBC views are down. Democrats lost their coalition. All of this because of their lies. You could tell a very well-constructed lie, but what do all lies have in common? They will always and forever fall apart. That's the world we live in, folks. It's the truth, the power of the truth. All lies will be exposed. And the biggest lie of them all, we never had a president.
Was fiery. President Biden's fiery
State of the Union address.
And if you watch that speech, you'd have no doubts Biden is going to win this election and then have a great second term.
There's no other path that guarantees that Palestinian can live in peace with peace and dignity.
I thought
Oh, listen to the wise words of Kamala.
he was extraordinary in terms of articulating.
Transformative in humanitarian crisis. Overwhelmingly benefit the top 1%.
Biden articulating very clear.
Hamas ended this conflict by releasing hostages. Laying down arms could end it by releasing the hostages, laying down arms, and surrendering.
He could not have made it clearer. He could not have done it better. And he did an unbelievable job last night.
Well, I've always been known.
When you scratch your face like that, especially live on air, body language 101, you're lying.
I've always known what endures toward an enduring, something more enduring.
So powerful. So powerful.
I would respectfully suggest my Republican friends, my God, what freedom else would you take away?
Very powerful last night.
He feels political win. He viewed it as a political win for.
Look at Kamala, right? So stone faced, right behind, right? You know, you see her. It's like I could kind of read her mind a little bit. Like, oh my God, you people don't know how screwed you all are. Nobody's in charge. And I think I'm going to give the final note to this. Hold on. Black Zen. If you still believe this guy who runs the country, you're beyond my help. Exactly. The man wasn't running the country at all. His advisors were. His people were running the show. We did not have an effective leader. There was no leader. There was no champion. There was nobody in charge. No one was in charge. The president of the United States of America wasn't aware of where he was at, what day it was, what time it was. And the thing is, the media and a lot of people of influence, leaders in the Democrat Party, people with large followings on social media, threw away their credibility to defend somebody who was never worth defending, who never should have had the reins of power. And now forever, Biden's legacy will be as a old man who didn't know where he was at. It's a shame. It's elder abuse when you really think about it. But then looking at Biden's history and what he's done to this country, because he wasn't a good politician, he was as corrupt as they got. Some would say this is karma. That's his legacy. A legacy of corruption, failure, and stupidity. That's what he should be remembered for. And as we close 2024, good riddance, goodbye, and never return.
SWAT team took your neighbor today. Watch them as they walked him away. You told yourself extremists come in all different shapes. Met his eyes and lowered your gaze. Is it too late for us to ever change? We are collecting the dust of better days. They're always watching us, but we're never safe. We're not meant to be safe, not meant to escape. We aren't meant to wake. up your daughter today. Pepper sprayed her twice in the face. He must have had good reason if he'd treat her that way. At least that's what they've taught you to say. But is it too late for us to ever change? Once we're collecting the dust of better days, and they're always watching us, but we're never safe. We're not meant to feel safe, not meant to escape. We aren't meant to wake. Feds arrived and had you detained. Said you'd made some posts they unchanged. Tased you till you felt like you'd forgotten your name, or life before they had you contained. Oh, life before they had you contained. SWAT team took your neighbor today.